First week of SuperCoach finals, a 26-36, and usually you'd be thinking, what a great round, what a great score. But this week, don't get me wrong, it's still a great score, but just top 3%, only went up 53 spots. Going up is good, but didn't go up much. So overall, it was pretty underwhelming for such a good score. It was a round where many players showed their ceiling. I had a fair few of them, but not enough for a top 1% type of score. And there were a couple of players that really bottled it and cost me both my league matchups really. So the team defense, Stewart just so consistent, another great game. Laird, Lloyd, nothing spectacular from either of them, but good to see tons. Short, his score wasn't looking good for the most part, but did pretty good to get up to a 92. Whitfield still had a fair few touches and marks, but couldn't really back up last week's performance. And Ridley, one of a couple of players that cost me this round. It seemed like he was playing lockdown on Papley and Heaney, I think. I didn't watch the full game, but that's what it looked like. And yeah, just couldn't get involved much. Couldn't take many kick-ins because both teams wouldn't stop kicking goals. So real disappointing in the end. The midfield, besides a couple of big names, was phenomenal really. Walsh fought through some attention from Sebras, kicked 3 goals. Great game from him. McRae was just McRae. Oliver and Petrarca were dominant against Gold Coast, and Clary as captain was just icing. Lions butchered it a fair bit again, but 121 still great. And Andy Brayshaw, really didn't think he had this ceiling in him. Spectacular first half, as was his fourth quarter. 190, just unreal from him. And the two underperformers, Bontempelli and Neil. Bont's matchup against Adelaide, it was one that we really thought he's going to have a big game. 199 against them last year. Can't see it being anything different this time around. He's in for a big score, and it was the complete opposite of that. Looked like he copped a lot of attention, and in the end, didn't get enough of the ball and was just really disappointing. And Lockie Neal, like I said last week, just cops an injury every week. And this time around, it was a head knock that bothered him early. At least he didn't go out with a concussion, but he's just far from his best and a shell of the player we know he can be. The rucks, Gawn was superb, kicked a very nice check side goal, and Grundy was good. And the forward line, Danger underwhelming, especially because of his matchup against North. Hall just continues his career best form, and at this stage I'd lock him in for next year in defence. Zeeble was good, DeGoey fantastic, Langford came back, kicked 3 goals, so that was nice. And Bolton, what a disastrous trade-in. He is a potato, not getting enough mid-time, and at this stage we just have to live with his scores. Not having Steele and Merritt hurts, but nothing I can do about it now. Like I've said before with Steele, I wanted to bring him in, but once I traded in Brayshaw, it just didn't fit the timeline and my buys. And he just never made his way into the team, unfortunately. And Merritt, I really could have brought him in round 14, but I thought, I've been betting against his scores to this point. Why not bring in Neil? High ceiling, we know what he can do, and he could be a pretty good pod through the back end of the season. It was great for 1 week, but since then he's been anything but a good pod. This week's score could have looked so much better if I had anyone but Neil. And that round 14 review title really hasn't aged well. But at this point all we can do is just hope for some good luck, hope he does his best to get over his injuries and gives us some better scores, because right now it's just not good enough. But moving on to round 21, this is obviously how the team's going to look. Not making any changes unless someone's out with injury and I've got a sub on injury cover. Captains, we have 3 games that haven't been scheduled yet, and looking at the rest of the fixture, it looks like those 3 games will take up all the Saturday afternoon slots. So, vice captain, we'll give to McRae. He's in far more consistent form than the Bont, so we're going with Jack McRae as vice, and captain could go Walsh against Gold Coast. I don't mind that at all. Clary against West Coast. Don't mind that either. So one of those two, we'll put on Walsh for now. But other than that, don't think there's much more to talk about. So I'll end it there. Good luck to you all for round 21. Good luck to those of you in league semi-finals if you're in it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.